welcome back to my channel. Happy New Year. So this year I was reviewing my bank account and I just realized that I had more Sephora purchases than groceries or food, which is crazy. I think I really went overboard this year. So I decided to make a video of my top favorite high-end products for 2023. So let's get straight to it and let's start talking about primers. Actually, for 2023, I realized that skin prep is so much better than makeup primers. I think that if you really cleanse your face, tone, exfoliate, and really moisturize your face, your makeup would really last longer and it would really lay on your skin so much better. So I used to have 4 or more primers in my professional kit and even for myself just for specific skin concerns or just for specific foundations. But for 2023, I really relied on only 2 primers. The first one is this Estee Lauder The Mattifier Shine Control Perfecting Primer Plus Finisher. So this is the primer that I use on my clients and even on myself because I have oily combination skin. So what I like about this primer is that in comparison to other mattifying primers that I have used, this doesn't dry out into that powder film. So a lot of mattifying primers that I have used before, you really have to be specific with the amount that you use. If you use a lot, it would really dry out into like a film, like a powder film. And when you put the foundation on top of that primed skin, the foundation usually peel off. And that's because the primer got super thick. It didn't really lay flat on the skin. So I really hated that factor with a lot of mattifying primers. With this one, it has a consistency of a moisturizer, so it really spreads very evenly. It still has that silicone-y feeling, but when you spread it, it spreads very evenly. It's super easy to spread, and then you would feel that mattifying effect after, but it dries down into like a satin matte. It doesn't dry down into a very, very matte finish. And it dries down immediately. So after applying it on my skin, I can immediately put on my foundation. And that for me is a very good advantage about this primer, especially if you're a makeup artist like me and you only have 45 minutes to finish one face. It's so hard for me to layer on some skincare prep, let it sit for a bit. Sometimes I'm always in a rush, but with this one, I don't have any problem with putting foundation immediately after because it dries down very quickly. And I find that for 2023, that really matte finish is gone. People even with oily skin wanted to have that skin-like finish. So again, this one doesn't have a very matte finish. It dries down into like a satin matte finish, which is very skin-like. The second primer that I often use for 2023 for myself and for my professional kit is this Glow Recipe Niacinamide Dewdrops. This is actually a skincare and a primer in one. It's a multi-use product. But I don't really see the benefit of this with skincare, but as a primer, it's really, really good, especially for mature skin and especially for dry skin. It really plumps the skin. It really preps the skin well, especially under the eyes. I really love the Tarte Shape Tape concealer, but it really dries down into this matte formula and sometimes that concealer can really highlight the fine lines under the eye. So usually I would use this under the eye so that all my concealers lay better. I also mix this with concealer if I really want a light finish under the eyes. So this one is what I use for skin prep for dry skin, and this one is what I use for skin prep for oily combination skin. Now let's go with foundation, and this year I have tried a lot of foundations, but since I have oily combination skin and I also have big pores and texture on my skin, I really fell in love with the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Soft Matte Longwear Foundation. This can give me up to a full coverage. It also controls my oil And it really does give you that filtered look so that your pores doesn't look so prominent with this on. I also love the Chanel #1 Revitalizing Foundation. I know that this is quite expensive, but I love it because it doesn't cling to any dry spots on my skin. And every time I use this on, my skin just looks super amazing on camera and in person. So a lot of the times when I know that I'll be photographed, I usually use this foundation. Again, quite on the expensive side, but it's also long wearing, so it's really worth it. Now let's move on to powders. I am so in love with these two powders. This one is the Estee Lauder Double Wear Flattery Loose Powder. And I'm going to show you something. I actually damaged the netting on this loose powder just so I can get an access to everything inside this container because it's really hard to remove this black part. So I just damaged this so I can access all of the powder. That's how much I love this powder. Again, I have oily combination skin, and this one comes in a matte formula and a translucent soft glow formula. And I have the translucent soft glow and I really love it even for my oily skin because it can give you that skin-like finish. You would always hear skin-like finish on this video, I think, because 2023 is all about glowing skin. It's not about matte skin. So I really love this, and it did control my oil even though it is a translucent glow finish. It gave me just the perfect amount of glow on my skin while controlling my oil. So it's really a great formula. I actually have this in my cart again because I just can't live without it. And there's not really a lot left anymore. It's so hard to access the remaining powder. I think that this would be a staple for me until this year. This would always be in my personal and professional makeup kit for sure. And I usually buy all my high-end products just from Sephora because I love collecting points. So I made an exception for this one. This one you can only get from the website and it's actually sold out. So when I bought another powder, it's actually out of stock. So as soon as it's in stock, they said that they'll be shipping me my product. So if you want to have access to this powder, you have to act quick because this one gets sold out very quickly. I don't see this powder trending on TikTok or Instagram or even on YouTube, but every time I check the Estee Lauder site, it's always almost out of stock. So I think secretly people are gatekeeping about this powder, but there's no gatekeeping here in this channel. I really love this powder and it's really worth it. The second powder, on the other hand, has a very high social media presence. This one is the Givenchy Prisme Libre Matte Finish and Enhanced Radiance Loose Powder. I don't actually care about the other shade, but my favorite shade will be this #3 Voile Rosé. Sorry if I butchered the shade, but it's this pink powder. This is really great under the eyes. It really is very, very soft. It is very, very thin. So when you apply this under the eyes, it really fused on with the concealer. It wouldn't highlight your fine lines. It would really smooth out your face. It's just a perfect powder under the eyes. It's also great for all over the face, but I find that it's very thin for all over the face. So for all over the face, I still use my Estee Lauder, but for my under eyes, this is a real game changer. I just want to keep 2 products for each category, but I have to break my rule because it will break my heart if I don't mention this powder as well. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish Powder, and I'm so in love with the shade #2. I think this is the perfect match for my skin tone. And I really love this because, again, for 2023, it's all about skin. So most foundations that were launched for 2023, they almost all have skincare ingredients in them. So it makes them more emollient. So sometimes if I put my Estee Lauder powder, the powder would really soak up those emollient ingredients and I will be left with pigments. So the foundation will look very separated and cakey. So if I have very emollient foundation on, this is my lifesaver. This is also very thin in consistency, and I really love how it can give you an airbrush smooth finish. Now let's move on to blushes. Again, a very, very hard category because I have tried a lot of blushes this year as well. But if I only have to choose two blushes, it will be, drumroll. Okay, this is not surprising, of course, the Rare Beauty Soft Pinch blushes. They're just amazing. The shade range cannot be beat, and I just love how it is very compatible with a lot of my foundations, a lot of my powders. For some of the liquid and cream blushes that I have tried, on initial application, I really love them. But once I try them with other foundations, I find that they usually separate or they get mixed with the foundation. So my face looks kind of muddy. But with the Rare Beauty Soft Pinch blushes, they are compatible to most of my makeup, most of my foundation. It really blends so easily on the skin. And again, shade range cannot be beat. Another revelation for me this year is this Patrick Ta Double Cream and Powder Blush. So I really love these two shades, the Shiso LA and the She's Blushing. So the Shiso LA, I have been wanting to have this shade for such a long time for blush. It looks like a bronzer, but on the skin, it will give you this kind of like terracotta shade. And look, I already powdered my skin, but this cream, it just applies really well even on top of powder. The general rule for makeup is that after you put powder, you can't put creams anymore because the cream would really make your face cakey and it will just separate on top of your face. But with this one, I have tried putting this on top of powder all the time and it doesn't give me any problem. I have to say, I love the cream more than the powder. The powder for me, I think is super strong. So you just have to use it sparingly. But the cream, so good. So again, I have two shades here. The first one is the She's So LA, which looks kind of like a bronzer. And the second one is She's Blushing. On the packaging, it looks like it also is like a terracotta blush shade, but once you put it on your skin, it actually looks like a neutral pink shade, which is really perfect for a lot of skin tones. Next up, highlighter, and I only have one for this category and you'll see why. This is the Dior Backstage Glow Face Palette, and it already has all of the shades that I need. So for fair skin tone, medium, this pink one is great on top of blushes. And this one, a lot of people are saying that they don't use. This one is really great as an eyeshadow actually. So if you don't have a deeper skin tone, use this as an eyeshadow on your crease. It would really give you that perfect bronzy look. And I love that all the colors are already there. You can also swirl your brush all over so you can get a mixture of that color. I also love that it really glides super smoothly on the skin. The pigments are just right. It's not chalky, it's not heavy. It will just give you that really nice soft glow. And yes, it is on the pricey side, but as you can see, I have used this so many times and I still have a lot of product on. Next up, bronzer, and I also only have one for this category this year, and this is the Dior Backstage Face and Body Power No Powder in the shade 6N Neutral. This is actually not a bronzer, it's a face powder in a deeper shade. And I really love this because again, for 2023, it's all about skin-like makeup. This one, I have to say, it has a little shimmer on. So when you put it on your face, it will just give you a very soft bronzy look, and it has a little glow on the skin. So it's not very matte, but also not very glowy. It's just very skin-like. And I just love the finish of this. It's also very easy to blend. It's quite on the warm side, so it's great for light to medium skin tone. I don't think it would show up to a deeper skin tone, but I just really love the finish of this one. It looks very natural on, and every time I have clients that want a very glowy skin-like makeup look, which a lot of requests for 2023 were, this is what I always use on them. Again, this bronzer just glides super smoothly on the skin. The pigment is just right. And again, a bit on the pricey side, but as you can tell, I've used this so many times and I still have a lot. Actually, I realized that I have a lot of Dior products in my makeup kit right now. I also love the Dior blush, but I didn't get to mention it in the category for blushes because I think the Patrick Ta in the Rare Beauty is actually so much better. Although I still love the Dior, but the formulation of those two are just so great. Next up, eyeshadow or eyeshadow palettes. I told myself that for 2023, I won't buy any new palettes. But guess what? I bought the Makeup by Mario, the matte one, and the one with the shimmers. I also bought the Charlotte Tilbury. I bought the Tati. For me, the best is this Artist Couture Supreme Nudes palette. It has the perfect nude shades. I find that the Makeup by Mario matte eyeshadows, they're also really great, and a lot of my makeup artist friends, they all have that palette in their kit, and I do as well. But the only problem with that eyeshadow palette is that it has a lot of fallout, which is not a big deal because you just top off your brush and it's okay. But I just think that this palette is so much better. Again, a lot of good neutral shades for every day. It also has shimmer shades. 1, 2, 3, 4. It has 4 shimmer shades. And it also has this very cute army green shimmer shade. It's quite versatile. And it also blends really well on the eyes. It doesn't have a lot of fallout. And I just love the shades that are in here. For the last part of 2023, I also fell in love with the Laura Mercier Caviar Sticks. These eyeshadows are amazing. I almost got all of the matte shades, I think. I have complicated Asian eyes, so I find that one eyeshadow look really works well with my Asian eyes. And also, to save time, one eyeshadow looks, they're like a time saver. You just have to put this on your eye, blend it. I actually have it on. I'm gonna put on the description down below what shade I'm using right now. But you don't actually have to set this. Once it dries, it really is self-setting. So if you want to skip powder, you can. And the shade range is also really good, especially for the matte shades. Such great eyeshadow product. So pigmented, so easy to apply on, so easy to blend, self-setting. What else can I say? They're my favorites. If I have to choose only 2 shades from this, the first one will be Sepia. That one has a matte finish. And for shimmer finish, I would say copper. Now off to lips, which is also a very hard category for me because I have tried so many lip products and I have a lot of favorites. But I find that last year I tend to wear more of the long wearing formula. So the 2 long wearing lipstick that I love the most is first the Rouge Dior Forever in the shade 200 Forever Nude Touch. This shade is good for every day. It's a brownish pink color, very neutral. I love that it's very lightweight on the lips as well and very long wearing. The second long wearing lipstick that I love is this MAC Lock Kissed Ink. This is in the shade 81 Gutsy, and this is the perfect going out orangey red color. I know it looks very bright, but it's such a perfect going out color. This is a perfect shade to wear if you don't have a lot of time to put on makeup. You just need a mascara, maybe a light blush a tinted foundation and you put this on and all the focus will be on your lips. I was actually using this most of the time during my trip to Italy because when you're on vacation, you don't usually have a lot of sleep. Vacation is actually weird because you're going on vacation to rest, but actually when you're on your vacation, you want to visit everything at that place because you don't know when you're going back. So you usually spend all your time out and you don't have enough sleep. So usually during the day, I wear my shades, put this on. And even at night, I love wearing this on because the focus will be on my lips and not on my tired eyes. And I love this because even if I'm drinking and eating, this will still be on. Well, except if you're eating very oily food because the oil can really break down this lipstick. But other than that, I think that this is the #1 long wearing lipstick that I have ever tried. So under the subcategory under lips or lip gloss, 2023 is all about lip gloss, and I have tried a lot, and a lot of the lip glosses I have tried that I really like are from the drugstore. But the two high-end lip gloss products that I really love this year is this Buxom Full On Plumping Lip Cream, and this is in the shade Dolly. I have used this so much this year. You know why I love this? I don't think it really plump up your lips as it claims to be, but this is just the perfect shade for every lip liner I own. So if I have a very dark lip liner, this helps it to tone it down a bit. And if I have a very nude lip liner, this helps in giving it a little color. So it's just very versatile. This one looks like a pale pink. But honestly, try this on with your lip liner that doesn't work for you. I'm sure that this lip gloss will change it and it will make it better. And then the second lip gloss that I love, actually, I can't find my favorite shade. But this is the Sephora Plumping Lip Gloss. I think it's a plumping lip gloss. I'm not too sure. But this is in the shade 07. Just really glides on super smoothly on the lips. It has a very thin consistency. So when you put this on, it's very lightweight. It has that tingling sensation when you put it on. And they also offer a lot of color range with this lip gloss. I can easily compare this to other high-end lip gloss that cost more. They're honestly underrated. But I think lately, it has been going viral because a lot of people wanted to have that tint of a bunny's tongue, and they saw a lip gloss from Sephora that has a shade comparable to a bunny's tongue. I'm not sure if this is the shade. I'm gonna double check and put something here if that's the wrong shade. But what I have here is the number 07, and I also like the nude shade of this lip gloss. And for the last category, finishing sprays, the first one is this Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray by Charlotte Tilbury. The second one is this One Size On Till Dawn Mattifying Waterproof Setting Spray. So I actually use them together. So the Charlotte Tilbury I use every time I put on a new layer on my face, like foundation and then spray, and cream blushes and then spray, powder and then spray. And then for the last step, I use this One Size Beauty Spray. This actually kind of acts like a hairspray but on your face. It gives you that thin film on the face so that your makeup wouldn't budge. And with this, it really helps in fusing your makeup onto your face. This is also great if you over powder your face. It would really soften that over powdered look onto your face because it will really help in kind of fusing the powder onto your foundation. So I really love using these two together. So those are my top high-end products for 2023. Let me know in the comments down below if you spotted any of your favorites and let me know why. And also if you have any products that I didn't mention in this video that you think is worth mentioning, just comment down below so we can help the community out. Thank you so much, Charles, again for watching. I'll see you on my next one.